Real good boys know that they have to be good to the planet, which is why we drink Fiji water. Since 2022, Fiji water's 330 milliliter and 500 milliliter bottles have been produced with 100% recycled plastic.
That's hot.
You know what's even hotter? The aquifer Fiji water originates from is a sustainable source and will continue to replenish as the rain and water cycles persist in the islands of Fiji.
You're right. That is hotter.
Visit your local retailer to pick up some Fiji water today and give yourself a Good Boy Gold Star for helping protect our planet. After all, Fiji water is Earth's finest water.
Good boys.
Welcome to Good Boys.
Welcome to Good Boys, the podcast where we determine which inanimate objects are gay and good or bad.
Yes. Yogurt?
Yogurt, you said? I think good because it has pretty good bacteria for your body. Bacteria?
So it's gay?
Oh, well, yogurt's definitely gay.
Yeah.
Yoplait, Chobani, like these are all very gay things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think. Well, yeah. At the very least, fruity yogurt is gay. At the very least.
Yeah. Okay. What were we talking about? Violins.
I have so much to talk about, I feel like.
Well, were you a good boy this week?
I think that I was a good boy this week. This past week was my girlfriend's birthday week.
Mm-hmm.
We had dinner with her parents Tuesday, bar hang for her birthday Wednesday. I took her to a delicious dinner and Wicked the musical on Thursday. And then I had to go out of town for a wedding. But I was also a good boy because, can I tell you about my travel for this wedding?
Please.
I had a wedding in Charlotte, North Carolina for my friend from my sorority. Beautiful wedding. Congratulations, Trisha and Evan. You don't listen to this. But
every time you say sorority, I'm like, what?
I know. I'm like
you were it. I just can't.
Past that.
I just can't imagine it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, this is someone I pledged with, and I knew her from before because we're from similar places. But I had a 6 a.m. flight. I know it's risky flying the day of a wedding, but like 6 a.m. for a 5 p.m. wedding for somewhere that's an hour and a half away via plane. So I had a 6 a.m. flight, woke up at 4 a.m., got to LaGuardia at 5 a.m., get on the plane, fly to Charlotte, right? We get to Charlotte, we turn around and land at LaGuardia.
Are you fucking kidding?
Because of Hurricane Helene, it wasn't safe, which like I totally, like, listen, for me to complain.
Land?
No, like we were like over the Charlotte airport and they were like, they're saying we can't land, the winds are too dangerous, which again, like what's happening in Asheville and like Western North Carolina, like I'm not complaining about a minor inconvenience, but like I've I'm like, I've been delayed, I've been canceled, but to get to the destination and turn around, I was like, oh my God. So at 8:30 we landed back at LaGuardia. And they, were trying to figure out different flights for me. They wanted me to get on one that would take me to Detroit, and then I wouldn't get to Charlotte until 7. The wedding was at 5. I was like freaking out. So I got a different flight that took me to Atlanta, to North Carolina. So in one day, I flew to Charlotte, back to New York, to Atlanta, to Charlotte.
Oh God.
And I didn't get to Charlotte until 4:30.
Woo.
And the wedding was at 5. So I missed the ceremony, which sucks. But I got to like make the party and everything. But
it's the worst.
Was Brit
with you?
No, Brit stayed home because she went to the gay music festival at Forest Hill. She went to All Things Go.
Got it.
For her, that was like her birthday gift from her mom. But I think what makes that good boy for me is that I arrived, everybody had like been like, people were relaying all the troubles people were having traveling. So when I got to I got there in time for the cocktail hour, and I got a lot of kudos for everyone was like, I would have just stayed home. Like they were like, that first flight back to New York, I would have just,
like,
whatever. But I would have lost money on the Airbnb and the flight, because if I didn't take the reassigned flight, it's not like I would have gotten the money. It was either like take a reassigned flight or take a loss on the money. So
and
maybe
I guess
a
you wanted to
selfish
be there
choice.
for your friends.
I wanted to be there. I was like, I wanted to see my friends.
Wedding.
Yeah, I haven't seen my friends in like 6 years, and I also used to live in Charlotte, so I wanted to go back and like see my old neighborhood and stuff. So I think those things together, I think, made me a good boy.
I agree.
Yeah,
Definitely a good boy.
Were you a good boy?
I don't know. I feel like I was. Something happened this week. Just happened, which we can get into, but I think I was a good boy. Firstly, I went to see Post Malone yesterday.
Oh yeah, where
which
was that?
Just dope. It was where was it?
Yeah.
Producer check. Where was it? Jones Beach.
Oh,
Beach.
yeah, nice.
What?
Jones Beach.
Jones
Long
Beach.
Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we rented a car. We drove down there. It was super fun. He's fantastic, by the way.
I've seen him live.
Yeah.
Beautiful voice. Beautiful performer.
Amazing. Really authentic.
Yeah, I like cried. I like saw him in like 2018 and I like cried.
Yeah, it makes sense. And also, you know how I'm not dissing anyone that does a full performance, because I enjoy that too.
Yeah.
But there's something about just like someone coming out on time, you know?
Yeah.
Just coming out, singing the songs after the end of each song, just being like, thanks so much.
Yeah. When I saw him, he gave so much, so many, prologue, he introduced each song with like, this is what it means to me. This is what was up when I wrote it.
100%.
This is who it's for, kind of thing. And I thought that was fun.
Yeah, it was. So that was good. That doesn't make me a good boy, but it was a fun thing that happened last night. Mm-hmm. I think that I was a good boy. We've talked about open relationships. Mm-hmm. And so me and my partner now have been talking about open relationships for probably about 12 months. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to talk about it until we felt very safe. Mm-hmm. And we like real,
that's when you got to do it.
Yeah, real trust, real, we feel really safe. Nothing's gonna shift us out of this relationship. So we've been talking about it for a long time. And I saw this meme the other day that was like, men in general are like, yeah, open relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And then their girl goes off and like has sex with loads of men, and they're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And they haven't done anything,
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I wanted to wait. I did want my partner to do something first. Mm-hmm. I don't know why that is, mm-hmm. but that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And that occurred.
Okay.
Like 2 nights ago.
Amazing.
So she did that. I don't want to like put her on blast on this podcast, so I'm not going to say too much about it other than that occurred. She followed every single rule.
Okay.
Everything was completely.
Can I ask what the rules are?
I have no idea what the rules are. Actually, that's
That's
point.
bad, Kylo.
No, listen. It's because we decided that we're gonna, like, as these things come up, to discuss them together.
Check it.
Totally.
On the go.
So this
You're like,
was
she
like,
followed all the rules. I don't know what the rules are.
She was respectful.
Okay.
And did so. For now, we keep calling it like a kiss and a flirt, right? Like,
okay.
Because we basically want to make sure that each human is independently walking through life, mm-hmm. experiencing stuff. Yeah. If you're in a bar with some friends, someone starts chatting to you, you want to chat to them, flirt with them, you end up kissing them, cool. Yeah. We haven't really got to the point where it's like, okay, what happens if you want to have sex with them?
Totally.
But for now, we're sort of like, we just don't want to limit each other. I feel like when you're in a monogamous relationship, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because mm-hmm. you are, I guess if you're like in a bar and like a hot woman comes up to you and is like, hey, mm-hmm. what's going, immediately I think your guard should maybe start going up, being like, hey, I'm happy to chat to you, but also I have a girlfriend. You know what I mean? So you're trying to like slowly get that in, or like hold that boundary, or do whatever. Yeah. And so this is just about, like, I guess the way that we've talked about it is just that you can feel open and fluid in that moment. Mm-hmm. So she's out with her friends. She feels this occurs. Mm-hmm. She feels open and fluid. So that happens. And I think what's really funny is, like, we've talked about it so much, and I feel comfortable with it. I'm comfortable in my skin, in our relationship, in her doing that. I haven't really been pursuing it mm-hmm. that much. It's fun. I've been like chatting to people and stuff, but I just haven't put that much energy into it. I don't go out that much. So mm-hmm. it's like, where is this going to happen to me on my couch? Probably mm-hmm. not. So yeah, but she gets in late. She doesn't have her keys, so I get the door for her. Mm-hmm. She texts me, so mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, go outside. I'm like walking out in my like boxers, no shirt. That's mm-hmm. what I do these days. Yeah. I walk outside to get her, and I lean in to kiss her, and she like turns from me. Mm-hmm. So, and I was like, what's up? Mm-hmm. And she's like, I just wanted to let you know, because this is part of it. Also, if she tells me the next day, this is also not okay, right? So she needs to let me know, so she like tells me, she's like, I just want to let you know this happened. And it's so funny because she did nothing wrong, but my immediate reaction was like, what? Mm-hmm. My initial reaction was like, whoa, what? Like, I was just so, I guess not surprised. I mean, she's hot and she was out with her friends, so I don't even know why I didn't even consider that could occur. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But that happened, and I think it took me like 24 hours or so to just process it and be like, oh yeah, that's what we agreed. That's exactly what we agreed. Yeah. And we should do that.
A dick about it at first?
No,
Okay.
I wasn't a dick about it, but I was complex about it, I think, which I think was probably unfair to her because we have like talked it to fucking death. So I think the right reaction would have been like, hey, this happened, and me be like, oh, cool, dope. How was it? Did you have a good time? And I did.
Yeah.
The next morning we hung out, and I was like, did you have fun? She said, yeah. You know, she had a really good time, and I was happy about that.
Yeah.
But like, I felt like I was like pushing and pulling her a bit just with my processing of it or something.
Well, I'll throw you a bone. And sorry to your partner. It doesn't feel great to get pulled away from maybe that like sparked a pit, like a
sure.
like
I mean,
a
but she
bad
did it for a
feeling.
good reason because
Totally.
I think she knows I'm someone too that if she just made out with someone and then you're gonna make out with, I would
Totally.
not appreciate this at all. So also, she did the right thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure,
But
you're right.
But
but
it is
that,
an
that
action
moment
that
of
when your
regret,
girlfriend does it, it's like, oh, like
that moment of
so
regret. Yeah.
it could have like released some kind of like panic chemical in you, and then you weren't, and then you needed. That's why it was like extra complex for you.
Totally, and I can feel. Of course, I sort of even knew as I walked towards the door, and I could see her outside. There's something like I know her so well that I could see that she was nervous or like something had happened.
Yeah.
I knew it already. So I think as well, your brain goes through all these things and whatever.
Yeah.
But she did nothing wrong. It just, I just don't know if I was mostly a good boy, but it was complex.
Yeah. Well, you got there.
I got there, and I'm there now.
So that's good, boy.
I'm there now.
Are you like, now I gotta go out? Now you're like.
So my next thing was like Motti. So when we going out, I need you. No, I think I just think the way that we are as human, like she's so like, I mean, maybe you obviously you know her well, but you know more from a work perspective. But she's very wild and free as a human, and so I just think the
very
nature.
European.
She's very European.
Yeah.
She's real, like she's a real yes woman. Do you know what I mean?
A what woman?
A real yes woman.
Oh yeah.
You know, like if we're like way more than me.
Yeah.
Like if we're like,
Kylo, you're not a yes woman.
Thanks.
But yeah.
She's a real yes woman. So like,
Yeah.
you know, I know these things things will happen to her because if she's in a, you know, if she's out at a party or she's at a festival situation or whatever, she'll dive in.
Yeah.
And that's what I find so sexy about it too. That's also when I'm out with her, I'm like, this is so exciting and amazing, 'cause, you know, but it ultimately means those moments are going to happen to her more and more, I think, you know?
Well, totally. Like very quickly, my first girlfriend ever, we were open after a little while, and that is precisely what the dynamic was like I had never done that before, and I was really hesitant to it, but she was just such like, she walked into a room and like people just like wanted to talk to her, make out with her, fuck her. Like it was just like she had this like magnetic energy, and she was also like a yes woman and like down to like down for anything. And I think that I was like really I was a woman when I was dating her, and I very much was like, how can I be more that way? And so I think like I was like, okay, well, if you're open and like if you're this way and you're open, then if I were to be open, then I could maybe get to be like this yes woman, like also this like really magnetic spirit and energy. And I wasn't cut out for it. Wasn't cut out for it, but I get what you mean, where you're like, that is such a cool way to, I don't know.
Totally. But it's funny if she was on this podcast, because we debate this all the time, and she always says, no, but she thinks when I walk into a room that I have that effect.
I'm sure you do.
That like people are like looking at me. I mean, I don't feel that way, but she feels like that. But I feel that about her. I think maybe just we feel about each other. But
I mean, and we discussed the other day, she doesn't feel like she does this when she walks into a room, and
exactly.
We're like, girl,
you do. She's like, no one wants to talk to me. I'm like, everyone's
afraid to talk to you.
Everyone's like, that chick's so hot, I don't know what to do with that. Yeah. Well, so props to the person that broke down that barrier.
Yeah.
You know.
Can I ask the gender of the person?
I believe a woman.
Okay.
Lesbian.
Cool. Even better.
I don't know.
Well, the reason I'm asking, I guess I'm curious if you would feel, do you have a different range of emotions if it were a man, a non-binary, like, or a woman?
Yeah, I guess, but I just also, God, this is a good learning, because I obviously haven't thought about it enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because these things were like
hitting
hitting me.
You could talk it to death and you still, like, 100%. It has to be in practice. Yeah.
100%. So how did I feel about this? Well, she told me that this person was like super fun. They got on really well, really respectful, you know, so everything seemed fine to me. And yeah, they're lesbian. And yeah, I guess maybe I felt better about it that it was a
Do
lesbian?
you think you'd be more jealous if it was a dude
a trans guy?
or just any kind of dude?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's the truth. But I think that makes me a bad boy.
a little bit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I think it shouldn't.
yeah,
I think I shouldn't feel like that.
yeah.
But I think it's
But
less about that I find, because I think people will be like, oh, you're not validating the lesbian relationship. But it's like, no. I don't think it's that. I think it's because I compare myself more
Yeah.
to men, and so I can see, you know, if a man is like stepping to her in a bar, I'm like, hey, you know,
Yeah.
my sort of
Also, we trust
protective-
men less and like
Yeah.
their intentions and their whatever,
100%.
but that's not all the way fair.
Yeah. So I think that you're right. That is how I feel, but I should probably challenge that in myself a little bit, because
Yeah.
also being open, that, and she's pansexual, by the way. So
And so are
she
you. And so are you.
sorry. And
Famously
so
on
am
this
I.
podcast.
Famously,
Yeah.
I'm pansexual. So she should be able to explore with any gender at all.
It should be treated equally.
Yeah, it should be absolutely, and I should be not bothered about. So she should do her, and I should be trying to be consistent in my response to it. And that's
Totally.
going to be my goal. You can ask me about it in a few weeks. That's going to be my goal.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's
so
great.
that's what happened.
Yeah.
And
Well, I asked
think,
the thing about gender because Britt and I were having a conversation recently because, you know, something that's going on with someone else. And I was like, basically I had said, like, I don't want to give anything away, but the conversation ended up with her being like, oh, like, would you be more upset if we ever broke up, knock on wood, like if I started dating a cis guy after, would you be more upset than if I started dating a woman? And I was like, absolutely. I'm like, if we ever broke up, I'd much rather you date a woman than a cis dude again, because not anything of like biphobia or like anything like that. I just think, one, that I'd love to see her date a woman, even if my heart was broken. And two, I think it would just be kind of like, I guess does play into a little bit of like internalized biphobia, because then it's like, in my head, I'm like, have you learned nothing that like non-cis, that like trans dudes are better, or like, or like it better be like cream of the crop type of cis guy, because like I feel like when you enter a queer relationship, you break free of so many things, like heteronormative things, and in my head, I guess dating a cis guy would mean that you're reverting back to that. But I think maybe I need to check myself on biphobia ? I don't know.
No, I get it though, but also, well, I get actually challenged, because hearing you say that you'd be bothered if my partner broke up with me, I wouldn't care who they got with. I'd just be like, okay.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's funny because God, I hope M's not going to kill me. This is like a podcast about M. But we had a conversation where I was like, would you date a cis guy? And she was like, yeah, if they were queer. You know?
Totally. Yeah.
I think that she would never now date a hetero, like a straight cis guy.
Yeah.
She's giving me a thumbs up over there.
Yeah.
I don't think she would. I think she would only, but she'd be very open to date a cis guy if it's
like
still,
pan.
100%.
Yeah, totally.
I think that validates her sexuality much more. And to your point is, you know, gives credence to the queer, just being queer in every, not sexuality, but any sense of, you know,
totally.
I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, like now with like the tea, and I'm like, oh, like now that gay guys and queer guys see me as a guy when they're hitting on me and not a woman, like maybe I am bi-curious. And so I keep updating Britt as I have these realizations of like, yeah, like bi-curious is a decent label for me right now. Like whatever, like either way, I'm in a monogamous relationship. So it doesn't, how much does that really mean at the end of the day? But she's like,
does she struggle with you?
She's just like, how can I compete with a guy? Like,
like
that, like, I think that where she's like, okay, well, I know where I stand in terms of like, so silly, but like, of like how hot I am compared to other women, and like, like where I stand here. But with men, it's like, oh my God, like whatever. Also, like she doesn't really love the list of like men. We have like in her notes app on her phone, she has a list of men that I've said throughout our relationship that I'd fuck, and she's like, what the fuck is this list? She's like,
how long is this list?
It's not very long, and it's like mostly just celebrities, where like I also say it when I think it'd be funny to say it. Like Larry David is on this list because I would genuinely fuck Larry David. And she's like, So you're like a lesbian, you're a like you're so
Right.
obsessed with women and specifically like femme women. You don't go mask for mask, but you'd fuck Larry David. And I'm like, yeah, I'd fuck Larry David. Like for the story. Like I think that that'd be really fun.
Right.
Jeff Goldblum, Bryan Cranston. She's like, what are
These
these
are- yeah.
men that you want to fuck?
It's
But
quite
like also
niche.
Jacob Elordi. And top of
I'm
my
gonna-
list always is Dev
I'm
Patel.
like, no. I mean, Dev's hot.
Yeah.
Jacob, no, for me.
But she's kind of just like, Motti, what? Like, what are these? I don't know.
But you know,
Yeah.
that sounds like you're bi-curious at minimum, to be honest.
Yeah, like yeah. No, I'm less disgusted by the idea of being with a man now that I am boy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Because the way we'd have sex would be different, and the way that we'd interact and flirt, like it's just completely different. It's now gay and not
Right.
like with straight men. My issue is with cis men is what the issue is, I think.
Although I don't think I feel affirmed enough in my gender yet to feel like I'm having a gay experience with a man.
Totally.
I'm just not there yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
But
I
I
think the only
wonder at
reason-
what stage that will, is that more testosterone? Is that
Yeah.
like lowered, I wonder what it is.
I think the switch for me was I got hit on by my first gay guy a couple months ago, and I think that was like, oh, you seem, because this person was, dare I say, like so clearly gay, like
Right.
was a gay man. I know this for a fact, and was hitting on me, and also like in such a cute, like he was so cute, and he seemed to think I was really cute, and I knew that I'm not saying I thought I passed as cis, like maybe he knew I was a trans dude, but he was hitting on me as a dude.
Right.
And I was like, this is sick. So once I got that one example and like one affirmation, now I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Maybe not all men. like, okay, that was really cool. Yeah.
A friend of mine a few days ago, we were talking about some hot guy, and they're like to me, I mean, how much would he have to pay to suck his dick? Is what she asked me. And I realized like not that much.
No, not that much at all.
Not zero though. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I would
Yeah.
go down on a hot woman for zero.
I'd pay to go.
I'd
I'm
pay.
paying, I'm paying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would pay, but not zero.
Yeah.
And that number I think for me used to be like $10 million.
Totally.
You know?
What's
And
it now?
I don't know, because I then said 5. My friend said, "You're a
$5?
fucking liar." $5? $5 million.
Oh.
And then my friend was like, "You're lying," and I was like, "I am
5
lying."
million to
Just
suck
wait.
a dick?
Yeah.
Kylo, come on.
Well, I got pulled up and they were like, "You're lying." I was like, "Fine." Realistically, truly, I don't know, 50K.
You're pansexual.
Am I?
No, this is what you're saying.
I'd have to really be. No,
Interesting.
listen. I'd have to rate the specific guy we were talking about. I wasn't
Oh,
100%.
It wasn't just any.
It's
it
an
was a
attractive
specific
guy. It's an
Okay.
attractive guy, but not one that I like feel super attracted to.
Okay.
So let me think about someone that I'm super attracted.
What kind
to.
of amazing blowjobs are you giving that someone's going to pay you $500,000 to give a blowjob?
Listen.
For someone who's been with one dude,
Listen,
I don't think
Don't pull me
you're
up
good
on this.
enough for this
You
price
don't think I'm
range.
good enough?
I don't think the data is showing any support that your blowjob
It's
is
about
worth.
quality, not quantity. And just because
My
I've
God.
it was one guy, not one time. Okay,
Oh, that's true. Okay. You're right.
that's
Okay,
what's
okay.
important.
Okay.
I think I'm probably better than someone that's done one time to lots of guys.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
because I've understood.
You got to know one penis really well.
Right. I think it's all the same.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
trying to
not 50
challenge you on your pricing here
Totally.
as a
Let's-
small business.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
If I was really attracted to them, I possibly zero. Possibly zero.
Yeah.
It'd be super specific. I'm
Yeah.
gonna find. I was attracted to someone that I was on set with actually. I hope he doesn't listen to this because he's a good friend. But I sent a picture to him to M, and I was like, I find him so attractive. He has this like beautiful
Do I know this person?
scar. I don't think so. I mean, he's an actor, but he
Yeah.
has this like beautiful scar. Oh God, I hope his girlfriend's not listening to this. Also, his wife, by the way, I'm gonna show you a picture. Looks exactly the same as M.
Oh, okay.
I'll scroll on Instagram and he'll put a photo of his wife, and I'll like be like, oh, there's M, and then scroll back and it's not M.
Oh, wow.
It's weird. Anyway, that's a side note. And he's really hot, and I probably would for zero
Yeah.
or like $5.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I would like for a meal.
for a meal.
Take me out to dinner.
What kind? A kokodak?
A what?
That's the only meal. That's my favorite meal. So
What's that?
kokodak. We
What's
spoke about
kokodak?
it. It's a like a a healthy fried chicken place.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of like a dish title,
Oh,
not a
no,
restaurant.
it's a
I was
restaurant.
like, what the hell is
And
a
it's a set. It's a
Kokodak?
set menu. So
Yeah. Okay.
that's what I would do it for.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. If you guys take Kylo to Kokodak, he will suck your dick after.
I will suck your dick. Did you see that Katy Perry thing where she's like
Oh my!
screaming?
I can't with her. She's so annoying.
Did you see it? When
I,
she's like,
I haven't heard it, but
she's-
Britt recites it at home
Oh
because
my-
she thinks it's so funny.
It's so funny. She's
Yeah.
like, I don't need a Porsche. I can buy my own Porsche. Just clean up the
just-
kitchen. I
yeah.
will suck. She's like, I will suck your dick. I
Yeah.
will suck. And I was like, damn. And I was thinking, firstly,
But I do think that rings true. I think
For
that
most
is a truth.
yeah,
I think.
yeah.
I just don't like it because it's her and she's yelling.
She's screaming, I will suck your dick. It's hilarious.
She pisses me off, that one.
Fair.
Okay, blowjobs.
Blowjobs.
We were both good boys.
We were both, yeah. I think just about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got there. I think a bad boy would have been like, nope. I'm not, I don't like this, or like whatever.
Totally.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to be a hypocrite because if I was in that position, I
Yeah.
probably would have done it.
Yeah.
And I would have expected her to be fine with it because
Yeah.
we fucking discussed it. You
Yeah,
know?
totally.
So I'm trying to be the best version of myself. Yeah.
Yeah. When you were setting that, just to wrap this up, when you were setting that, you told me to correct you if you were wrong about anything about like monogamy. And you had mentioned like, oh, if a hot girl comes up to me at the bar, first of all, nice of you to assume hot women are coming up to me at the bar. That's not happening. But I think that because Britt and I have talked about, especially when we're talking to other couples and or like other friends of ours who are in relationships, I think we both like being flirted with, and I think that that's a totally fine thing. I think if I was getting flirted with and I wasn't immediately like, stop, I have a girlfriend, that would be okay. But if I started reciprocating the flirting in a big way, I think that wouldn't feel good for her.
Okay.
For her, I'm like, go make out with that girl over there. She's like, no, Motti. And I'm like, okay, fine. But yeah.
Would you be in a situation then where she was open but you weren't? Because it seems like you're quite comfortable with it, but she's uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, which is like totally fine because it's not a deal breaker for me to be I'm like, yes, girl,
That's fine.
for
Yeah.
lifey. Yeah. Well, also like for me, open, I think I have a pretty flexible line on, for instance, like for me, like making out in a bar, like we wouldn't have to necessarily be open and have an open status for her to be able to kiss a girl at a bar. For me, I'm like, that's just kissing a girl. Does that make sense? Like for me, like for us to be considered open and like have conversations around it, I think sex needs to be involved in dates and like feelings. But in terms of like, for instance,
That's so surprising to me. So
Oh,
she,
really? Like,
yeah, a little bit. Could
she would
kiss a
never,
guy?
first of all, she would never make out with, like she is so staunchly, I mean, maybe she would, but she's very staunchly monogamous. But I'm saying, let's say this Friday we go out to a bar together, she has a couple drinks and she makes out with a friend or a stranger at the bar. I wouldn't be like, okay, now we are open, or like that means that we're open. I would just be like, okay, you made out with a girl at a bar.
Could she make out with a boy?
She could.
Did you
I
just
would
lie
like
to
it
me and
less.
yourself?
I would be less excited about it. I guess I really want to watch her make out with a girl.
Understood. We're peeling back the onion layers here.
I
This is
know,
making sense.
yeah,
So
yeah,
really
yeah.
what you want is it?
I think really what I want is, yeah. No, not even a three. Like I'll
really,
sit in
you
the
just want to
corner.
watch. You just want to watch.
I think it'd be really hot to see her. I've never seen her because she got divorced from her husband, and she had her time single, and then we got together. So it's not like I like knew of her and like got to see her make out with a girl at a bar before we got together, or like see her date a girl on like whatever. And she loves girls, and so I think it'd be fun to see her make out with a girl. I don't know.
I mean, in that one threesome that I had, but I'm still very good at threesomes because
Yeah.
it was multiple times within one
Session. Totally.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'm just letting you know that.
Threesome king. People are saying it.
Yeah, I think people are saying it. So in that one time, I got to watch them make out and like have sex.
Yeah.
And actually, that was super. I thought to myself, I could just sit here and just watch the whole thing
Oh,
and be absolutely fine with it.
I'm totally into voyeurism.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun. I've done that. I've taken myself out of orgies before and just like sat in the corner
I read a book.
because I'm like I need a break, and also like I'll just like
And I'll
watch.
just watch.
And I've literally like removed myself from group situations before.
Isn't this the point of play parties, which I've never been to, but hold good boys listeners because soon it's coming and I will revert back. But I've
Okay.
never been to a play party, but
Yeah.
I'm going soon. Isn't that the point, or that is an aspect of a bunch of these play parties, that you can just sort of go and enjoy the view?
Yeah, totally. But like the ones I've gone to, there's kind of like a decent amount of rules of like, hey, don't be like posted up staring at people hooking up unless you have like permission to be doing so.
Sure.
Because it's not like a vibe where like someone's like people are hooking up at that couch and I can just sit here and be like staring at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to ask permission to like really be locked in watching people, because otherwise you're like expected to be doing your own thing, and if you're not doing like there's also like it's like separated. It's like people are fucking in this room, they're doing this kind of kink in this room, you can go get a private bedroom if you can find one, or you're like out back and you're chilling and you're not really expected to be like, I don't know, there's like these like respect things, but yeah, I would say that's like a decent part of the, yeah, you get to like see it. But
Interesting.
yeah.
Can I play this game with you?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read out some texts. I wonder if we should do this with you doing it to Brit or Brit doing it to you. Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
Because Brit's very monogamous.
Okay.
You're on the couch with Brit.
Okay.
And these texts come through your phone from a woman.
Okay.
Okay. And I want you to rate from 1 to 10.
Okay.
how cool she is with it. 1 being she's cool. It's no biggie. 10 being like she's freaking out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Your phone's face up.
Mm-hmm.
A woman texts you.
Mm-hmm.
It pops up on the screen. It says "trying to link?" ? 1 to 10.
8.
8. Okay.
Because it could be a friend like want a link, but that seems pretty.
Okay. It's a name that she doesn't recognize.
Oh, and she doesn't know who. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably 10.
Okay. That makes sense. Oh no. That's dope.
It just says that's dope. 1.
Okay. WYA.
That's like a 3, because that could be like well, I have a lot of friends who are women who she doesn't necessarily know the names of, so I don't think that like where you at, I don't think that would set, maybe like a 2, 3.
Okay. WYD.
2, 3.
Okay. Good morning. First thing in the morning. Name she doesn't know. Woman.
Probably like a 5.
We're creeping up.
Yeah, we're creeping up because it's like, why do I need to have a good morning?
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear that from Brett.
Yeah.
Why do you need to have a good morning? Yeah. How was your day?
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
5. Okay.
I don't know. How was your, I don't know. I have friends who are girls who are interested in knowing how my day went.
Okay. What did you eat today?
That's weird. That's like an 8. Probably.
An 8?
Why does some girl need to know what I ate today?
I don't know.
I think that's weird.
Well, you're telling me that you think that's
like
an intimate. You think that's intimate?
Totally. Because me and Britt ask each other, what did you eat today? Because we're both really bad.
I don't think that's that intimate.
Oh.
Or maybe. Let me think. What did you
eat today?
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Your girlfriend also monitors what you eat, so that's a pretty intimate thing.
Yeah, she does, not because she's a sociopath. Sorry, just because.
Sorry, yeah, for health reasons.
Because I just don't. I'm not very good at feeding myself.
Yeah,
I gotta get better.
Okay.
That's so interesting. Is this the last one?
These are not so bad.
These are not so bad. It's interesting. Oh, hold on.
Are there more?
Pics ?
Oh.
10.
That's like a 9 or a 10, because it could be as easy as like, send me the pictures we took last night, or like pics ? Is kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's like a 9 or a 10.
You know what I'm realizing doing this? That's pretty much it. But what I'm realizing doing this is there's a code between, because these things on the face of it, if you look at the words, they're not intimate.
Yeah.
But there seems to be a code between couples.
Yeah.
Where you build intimacy around food, around routine, where that's broaching into. Yeah. It's funny because it's a good conversation around what's open and what's not. Yeah. If you're not like me and Em are not supposed to be building relationships. Yeah. Outside of this relationship, but then if she has sex with someone, and has sex with them a few times, and then they message her and say, "How was your day?" Yeah. Is that okay? Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't know. I like the game of like, is this cheating or is this not? And I see people on TikTok doing that. And I'm like, there are so many things that people amongst you and I who are living the same lives as us who think things like getting a hug from a coworker is cheating.
No way.
And to those people I say, go to fucking therapy. That's nuts.
What do you think is cheating? At what point does Brit have to do something where you're like, you just cheated on me?
She'd have to hook up with somebody else without telling me and keep it from
Sex?
me. Not necessarily heavy petting. Groping.
A grope? Okay.
Like, it has to be something that I am not either aware of beforehand or told pretty immediately after.
Okay.
Like, I think what makes something cheating, especially in this world of so much fluidity of openness, is like the secrecy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it from you purposefully, deceiving you, doing things like hiding the text, locking your phone, making a new password, like hiding, like it's the hiding of it all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I spoke to a friend last week who was saying that they emotionally cheated.
Mm-hmm.
They admitted that.
Okay.
And so there's no, obviously in that scenario, no heavy petting, no kissing.
Yeah.
And no even hiding the relationship because it was like a friend.
Yeah.
But,
Huh.
you know, but if you are like sharing,
So they just got feelings for somebody else.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
But like, how do you get feelings for someone without having kind of those intimate conversations with them?
But you have those intimate conversations with friends, right?
Totally.
This is what I was challenging, or like Em and I talk about a lot, because at what point does it become, if we're saying, okay, we're open, you can kiss someone, you can have sex with someone, you can even have sex with that person more than once, at what point does it creep into, hold on, that's a relationship and you shouldn't be having it? Because I would assume, well, I guess lots of her girlfriends that she's not having sex with that are just friends, those relationships are so intimate. And it's just missing the sex, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, like Brit's relationships with her best friends, like very, like the only thing that's missing is if they were having sex. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I'm fine, but I love it.
Of course, yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, that's a tricky one. But like people who are like, oh, like you got a ride home from your coworker because your car wasn't working that day. Is that cheating? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you need to.
No.
Something needs to happen for your brain to be better. That's so scary, because then I'm like, oh my God, has to be my only thing that I can take away from that, where if you think that your girlfriend getting a ride home from like a male coworker or something because your car didn't work, and if you think that's cheating, I have to assume this is an abusive relationship.
I agree.
In the form of controlling, manipulation, emotional abuse. Like they're like, how can this person move through their life at all without you accusing them of cheating and stuff?
100%. And I've been in relationships like this where I'm not allowed to speak to women.
Yeah.
But I'm allowed to, which is ridiculous because I'm pansexual.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So much of it comes down to like controlling, and I'm like, fuck the cheating. You're abusing this person by telling them every inch of what they can and cannot do. That's crazy. And even if with like all the rules and stuff of open relationships, you can be cheated on in an open relationship, and I have been cheated on in multiple open relationships. Which is another reason why I'm like, yeah, like people think I'm cuckoo for the monogamy thing, but like, hey, I've done the open thing and I've still got cheated on. So
tell me, what were they rules that were broken? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, it's rules that are broken. And like, by the way, I don't think anybody involved in these situations listens to this podcast, but if they do, like, it's all chill. It's just funny. Like, it's like no bad feelings. It's just a funny thing to be cheated on in an open relationship. And so I think it's funny to talk about. But yeah, it's rules that are broken. So like one of the times that it happened was like, there were very specific rules about, I don't want to give too much away to like out this person, but it was like, this type of person you can't hook up with because of like overlap. You can't, if you go on a date, it can't be in can't be in my neighborhood. So it's like one of the rules is like, don't hook up with someone in our friend group or who we know personal. Like I'd much rather it be a stranger than someone who I'm going to have to like bump into again or see again. The other thing was like, if you go on a date, dates are fine. Let me know about them. But don't do it at a place that's like sentimental to us or like a place that we go on dates. And it shouldn't be like, I shouldn't be able to like walk out of my apartment and like stumble upon you on a date, right?
Fair.
The other thing was like, the other thing that I found in multiple open relationships I've been in, it always gets sticky around like, okay, so you meet someone at a bar, you hook up, sleepover ? Because it's hard to like fuck someone and not sleep over. I always end up sleeping over, or they always end up sleeping over. But that's an intimate thing, because then you have a next morning with them and whatever. And I forget what the rule, but there was a rule around like sleepovers and like communication. And the biggest rule was just like no lying, no hiding. And so a situation arose with somebody that I dated where every single one of those things I just listed was not honored.
So within the friend group, in an area by your house, at a place that is sentimental to you, didn't tell you about it, and sleep over.
And we had a date planned that didn't happen because they didn't let me know that it was going to be a date. That they were, if they had just been like, hey, I'm going on a date with someone, we're not going to hang out tonight, like me and you, that's fine. I was waiting at my apartment for hours for them to text me like that they were coming over or not.
This isn't cheating though. This is just fucking rude.
It was just rude.
It is cheating, and it's rude.
But then they hooked up with someone and slept over their place.
Sure, but it just feels quite disrespectful.
It was totally disrespectful. Yeah. I was just like, damn, I feel like a fucking idiot. But it was like one of those things. And again, it's all good. It's chill. But it's like, so it's like, okay, you have all those rules set up, and then it's, but you also need to check in on those rules. And like, we should, like, you know, I just wish if I knew that this person was planning on going on a date, because it was planned a week or so ahead, I was like, we could have sat down and gone over the rules again to make sure that you would have had a good, because also the other thing is like, you should be having a good time going on a date and fucking someone. It should be good for you. You shouldn't be having to like be nervous or worried or feel like you're doing something bad. Like the whole point is that you should feel free to like go and enjoy and not be thinking about me in the back of your head.
Totally.
So, you know, what are you going to do? But like,
yeah.
And then, yeah, the first time it happened was like a long time ago. And it was kind of a similar thing of just like, it was kept for me and then told to me like 2 months later. And I'm like, what the fuck is the point of being open if you're not telling me about that? Yeah. Right. So, and then and then it always comes back to like, just don't make me feel fucking stupid.
Totally.
I don't know.
Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like the biggest thing that not worries me, but the thing that I just hold on to, I'm sort of very fluid around what rules we put in place, and I'm happy to be flexible on them, but I just don't make me feel stupid.
Yeah.
You know, do not make me feel like an idiot.
Don't make me question things.
Don't make me worry.
Yeah.
Just like, let's just keep it above board.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Because that's the whole, whenever I'm like, it's communication. It's communications about the rules, about boundaries, about what happened, what transpired, about how you want to move. Like it's not easy work to be open, or don't even get me started on poly. I'm like, that has to be constant, like, because then you are more often than not building relationships, which is a whole lot. And I think that's kind of how I'm sure these things are flexible, but I feel like that's how we tier them. Like open is like fucking other people but not relationships, and then poly is when relationships get involved, but I'm sure there's like overlap to that rule. But I feel like poly I couldn't do. But yeah,
no, same actually.
Yeah, you
know, I'm gonna be super vulnerable here and say this, but I would, for a very, very long time, and I'm pre-transition, which I think could have been a part of it, and now I'm sort of like working on it, but I would have sex without being touched at all myself. Okay. And so the way that I would, you know, have, and we've talked about enjoying this a bit, and I definitely do enjoy it. And I used to be like, yeah, I'll just make you come, and I'll just like worship you, and like I don't need anything. Yeah. And I like I would pride myself on that, but I think in hindsight and then working through it, it was a bit of like dysphoria and a bit of, you know, it's just very vulnerable and intimate for me, and I just didn't, you know, I wasn't super comfortable doing it. And so knowing that, so I'm just telling you that so you know it as a bit of background. Yeah. Then when me and my partner first started talking about being open, it was like, well, it's just like a one night stand situation. But then she started to realize that was quite unfair for me, because there's just no way that I would ever, like, I would do stuff to the other person. Yeah. But she was basically like, well, if you're not getting like pleasure out of this, why are we doing it? It feels unfair, and why are we doing this? So then we were like, okay, it has to be
because you need a couple times.
I need a couple times. I need to like feel a bit more comfortable. I don't know if this will change over time with my transition, but yeah, I need a few more times. And so, you know, I think as well, a lot of this stuff is just like flexing to each person's like needs and wants around it, you know, whereas she's much more capable. I hope I'm not making it sound like how she's much more. Yeah. Okay. So she's much more capable of like meeting someone in a bar, fucking, having a great time. Also, I think she's much more capable than me of just being like, that was sex.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna move through. Whereas I have this guilt thing, especially if I'm just doing stuff to someone else. I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you want me to take you for breakfast? I feel like I should.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all this stuff. So I think I've got a lot. I am behind on this, I think, because I need to learn, one, that like sex can just be casual and doesn't need to be this like big thing. Two, that like I need to sort of learn to start to be touched without having like a whole load of intimacy on top of it, because then also it's a relationship and what are we doing?
Yeah.
So it's complex.
Yeah,
and I
it
gotta
is
figure
complex.
this out.
Not to be too meta about it, but I also think the part where you said where you feel this responsibility of like, do you want to get breakfast? Like that's us trying to be good boy. You know what I mean? Because we
100%.
learn, we're like, we as previous women, can I say that? As like previous women, we know what it's like for a guy to like fuck you and then
like,
never
walk away.
fucking talk to you
Exactly.
again. And so like I think that we have that trauma. Well, maybe not trauma, but like experience, and like we don't want to replicate that, and we don't want anyone to be like, oh yeah, I fucked Kylo and he didn't take me for coffee in the morning. Like we don't want like but like I feel like when you're a chick, I shouldn't say chick, when you're a woman, it's easier to be like yeah, fucked, and I decided that was just fucking or whatever. But the thing about having the difference, and so when me and my first girlfriend ever, we were open. This is the one who could like walk in a room and like whatever, and which if she ever did hear me say that, she'd be too jazzed. But we had different rules for each other, because for me, making out at a bar was like absolutely nothing, and so I was allowed, like I didn't need to have feelings for someone to like drunkenly kiss them at a bar. And so like for me, I could make out with people. For her, like sex was nothing, but making out was really intimate. So like she could fuck someone and it could mean like nothing, whatever, but to her, like kissing someone, like making out was very intimate, and like that had kind of feelings involved. And so we had a little bit of like a different rule for each other, where like I could make out with anyone at the bar that I want, she could kind of fuck whoever she wants, but like for her to make out with, like that kind of thing, which I'm like, I don't know how you're really fucking without making out. But we just had different kind of like boundaries of like what meant something to us. And so that played a part into like how we were open, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I think the right way to do it is what I'm realizing as we talk about it more and more. I mean, not me and you in my relationship. I talk about this more and more. It's like, yeah, what do those things mean for each human? I'm being honest about that. Yeah. You know? And yeah, this whole good boy thing of me like not over, because this is how, you know, when a few episodes ago we were talking about we're terrible at breaking up with people. Yeah. I think it leans into the same thing, because I'm almost leading them on, because I'm like, hey, this is just sex, right? So this is what we're doing. But then I'm like, must be respectful. Let me get you breakfast. Let me get you an Uber home. Let me do this. Let me do that. And then you start to encroach in this space of like, I'm caring about you and I'm like looking after you. And this is more than sex. Yeah. Even though my words are saying that. Yeah. And I think that is something I must work on, because I cannot be out here creating 80 relationships from my one-night stands, you know what I mean?
Totally. But I do think that there's a case for like, we should be able to care for someone after sex without it meaning that we want to date them. You know what I mean? Like we should be able to display decent, not even chivalry, like courtesy of like, yeah, like get the Uber home or something. But like there needs to be a little bit more like nuance to it, because there was this whole like discourse on Twitter recently where someone was like, let me just think about exactly what the discourse was, where it was like, so many people have a hard time hooking up with their own friends because they cannot think of this person. They can't not think of this person differently after they fuck. That person's personhood and how they see them and their relationship with them is altered because they've been sexually intimate. And there was like, okay, like, why are we thinking of people so much differently just because we've had sex with them? And then the other side was like, well, because sex is a significant thing and like you're gonna think different, like, and there was like these two sides to it, and I couldn't quite figure out where I landed. I think somewhere kind of in the middle of like, why can't it be case by case? Like I've fucked friends where hey, we were drunk and we fucked, and like you're still the same old person, you know what I mean? Right. And then I do think for a lot of people, especially when you think about all the different ways in which people develop their sexual identity, there could be like like I don't know, like maybe it is really significant for someone to fuck someone. Maybe you learn something about one of your friends or someone you know after you have sex with them, because you only really learn certain things in the bedroom. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting thing that took place.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And people felt very strongly about it.
Huh.
On X.com.
I don't know if this is the same thing, but a friend of mine hooked up with a friend of theirs, and they're now immediately dating because when I asked why, it was basically like, well, there's no in between because we have all this beautiful friendship that's really intimate, and now we've had sex, so I can't like fuck with other people. I'm not gonna like fuck with other people because, you know, now and they have so much respect for each other. They obviously like each other because they're friends. Now we're having sex. It's like, well, you almost go to level 4 without going through 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, interesting.
You know?
I hope they're also dating because they want to date each other.
100%.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But what I mean is it becomes less casual just by the fact that they're friends.
Yeah.
And I relate to that. I think that that's true because you have all of this like beautiful history.
Totally.
I mean, that's what a romantic relationship is, right? A lot of the time it's all this like friendship history with sex on top.
Yeah, totally. I stopped fucking friends. Well, not just because I'm in a relationship, but I stopped fucking friends because it just makes it sticky, I think.
Yeah.
I used to be very pro fuck your friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I fucked any of my friends.
I used to fuck my friends a lot. Such an insane thing to say. But
I fucked one friend. It was the first girl I ever had sex with. But now I look back, were we even I think I just was in love with her.
Yeah.
You know?
But that makes sense. For like, you know, lesbian lore. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I've had sex with a lot more friends in group situations than in one-on-one situations.
Wait, what? You've had sex as a group?
Like
you all have sex together?
More of the time, kind of, sometimes.
I mean, I need to hang out with your friends more. I don't know.
this is like college and undergrad and grad school and stuff. No, I haven't been that cool in a while.
Okay.
Because I'm married now, and I'm happily and satisfied. I'm not yearning for those days, but it's just like, I was also like on drugs all the time. So it's like, of course I'm having group sex with my friends. We're all on drugs. We're all on acid. Of course we're going to fuck each other. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm entering my play era.
Yeah.
My wild yes man play era.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me about it next week.
Yeah. I think you're going to do great. You're really hot. I do think you have the thing when you walk in a room. I don't know.
You have any tips?
I don't know. More confidence. I don't know. It feels crazy saying that too, because I feel like you have to have a lot of confidence.
I have confidence,
but you need to have confidence.
I don't like we have this conversation. I have confidence for sure.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm good.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason, I don't really approach women. I think I should maybe start approaching them.
Yeah. It's also hard because what are you gonna do? Go up and like, can I buy you a drink? Yeah, I'll take seltzers with bitters for you. Like, I guess you could do that, and people must do that. But
yeah, it's harder.
I do think sobriety plays a role into like being able to like be 3 gin and tonics in and be like, hey, well, can I get your number? Like,
exactly
that liquid confidence, you know.
Totally.
So.
Can someone maybe? I mean, you can do a clip. Maybe people can put it in the comments, or can someone just hit me up with some sober chat up lines?
Yeah, that's great.
That would be really helpful. That aren't creepy, you know.
Yeah.
I'm so conscious. I think that's why too. I'm so conscious of being creepy.
I think we need to really try to just let go of it.
I know. I don't want to be like,
you need to do like exposure therapy and like do pickup lines on like 5 women like in the next 3 weeks. Yeah. And don't let yourself feel. Just let yourself like do it and see how it feels.
I'm gonna do that. Thank you.
That's my professional.
And just send a bunch of DMs.
No, because that could be. Don't do that. Don't do actually creepy things.
Okay, fine.
Speak to women with respect in person. Look in their eyes, not their boobs. Understood. You know, like, and say something like.
But I told you I sent a DM the other day and I got a nude back. It worked. That's it. Okay, just finish off. So the other day I got a platonic nude from a friend.
Was it kind of just like, I feel great about myself, want to see?
Sort of. I like posted a story and she responded, and the story was about nudes, and she responded, and she said I love sending nudes, and I said send me a nude, and she said yeah, and sent it and said it was platonic.
Okay.
But she's crazy hot. Yeah. So it's like, it was very sexy.
Do you like fire emoji react?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I said exactly, but I said something like, that's hot.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. But then it was interesting. have you heard of a platonic nude? Do you think it's possible to send a platonic nude?
I have heard of platonic nudes. I think that I've participated that in a way where it's like when I was a girly bop and like feeling myself and like wanted to show the girls, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and be like, look at this hot nude I just took. Like in that way, I have not done that in a really long time though.
But that feels like this feels not that because I'm not one of the girls.
Totally. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. So that's why I'm like, oh,
So it's
this is news
interesting.
to me because like, yeah. Also, again, with the like, I just wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
But
fair
I think that I do a form of platonic nude because I post to my story topless a lot, and I know like now I don't have boobs, so it's not like topless. But it feels like that's the boundary of like me wanting to thirst trap while in a monogamous relationship that my partner is super comfortable, like she doesn't take any issue with that, but I think she understands I get some kind of like attention gratification from it,
Right.
and like she's totally cool with that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but that feels like a platonic, like I don't know, like me topless with my like boxers poking out and like flexing my arm muscle a little bit,
Sure.
like that's a
Yeah.
little bit of a platonic nude.
But that's your story to everybody. You're not doing that one-on-one to people.
No, yeah,
Okay.
no, that would be a 10. That would be no.
But
No,
that's
no,
what
no,
I'm
no,
saying.
no.
So like
Yeah.
that's not you know what I mean? And this
Yeah.
was like this person's like crazy sexy,
Yeah,
and it was like a video of her butt,
yeah,
and it was you know, it's like, I mean, whatever.
Wow.
I'm in no relationship, but I think
Yeah.
if I wasn't, how platonic is it platonic?
it's not really, yeah,
You know?
exactly.
But she described it as platonic, so maybe she just sending that to a bunch of her friends, and I'm a friend, so that's cool. Maybe pretend it depends on the person that's sending it, their intention.
Yeah.
And her intention was platonic, so
Yeah.
I should receive it in that way.
Yeah. I mean, Britt and her girlfriends are like sending each other, like, I don't think it's like full tits, but like there's certainly some gray areas here in the girl group chat
Right.
that I stay out of, and it's like whatever. But
Right.
I am also like, okay, she can say it's platonic. You get it. What happens when you get hard? Is it platonic still? Like,
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's what
You
I'm
know what I
saying. But I
mean?
think
Like-
that's what I mean. But like, and I did get hard.
Yeah,
so
I
I don't
know.
know. But like, I did. But I'm respecting that she said platonic nude.
yeah,
I read the words.
Yeah.
I received it as a friend, and I was like, yeah, you look amazing.
Yeah.
You look so sexy.
yeah,
I was like, that's what it is, because that was her intention. That's what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah,
But I agree. But maybe we can bring her on and talk about it.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
Right.
I have a corrections corner.
Oh my God. No, Motti, please let me start. I have the
Okay.
biggest corrections.
Okay, you go.
We should have started with this.
Yeah.
Everyone, I'm so sorry. I have the biggest corrections corner. So last week, in fact, please explain, because I don't want to explain your bodily functions.
So last week, we Kylo and I chatted about, I had this growth on my nipple, post-op nipple, on my nipple graft that's 9 months healed, that never had any kind of issues or anything, and it was just this like hard, hot, swollen growth. And we were speculating about, is breast cancer, a possibility? Both of my parents are breast cancer survivors, so I was like, of course, that's where my head's gonna go, especially because I'm an anxious person, and so
I bullishly said it's not possible for you to get breast cancer because we've both had a full mastectomy, top surgery, and I assumed that meant that we'd removed all of the breast tissue, and so therefore we couldn't get breast cancer.
And in addition, when I was like, well, what happens because when I'm going to the gym, I'm getting pecs? What do you think that is? And you
I said muscle.
yeah.
So, okay, I'm wrong on so many levels.
Well, it is muscle, but it's muscle under tissue.
Right.
Yeah.
There is still, so I think I Googled it, but tell me if I'm wrong. Number one, when you get top surgery, there is some tissue left in your chest.
Yep. Not only tissue, but also milk ducts and glands get, like, mammary, like that
Right.
all gets left behind. Well, I'm sure maybe some comes out, but there are, and that's what ended up happening with me.
And therefore you can get breast cancer. Although I also, and again, please, any doctors correct me, but Google was telling me it does reduce your chances of getting it,
does,
though.
yeah.
Which is why we've heard, I think there was that thing with Angelina Jolie when we heard that she got double mastectomy.
Yeah, to prevent it.
prevent breast cancer. So it does massively reduce it, but it doesn't make it impossible.
Yeah.
So first, corrections corner, so sorry. And second, yeah, about the muscle.
Yeah. So
It's not just muscle.
yeah, so what ended up happening with me is that, which is what we thought, it's either a gland or a milk duct, something about me taking the testosterone while also menstruating and like whatever. Basically, my surgeon was like, you woke up a gland that was like kind of dormant because it's not being used or whatever. Something about the hormonal changes, totally normal, but I grew an abscess and a bunch of blood and pus started building up underneath my so also with top surgery with the nipple graft specifically, I had like a double incision nipple graft. They took off my nipple, made it smaller, put it back on my body. But when they put it back on my body, it's just on skin. It's like sewn onto my skin, not sewn into my tissue with like the communication systems happening and whatever. And so anyways, I got an abscess under my nipple. When it started growing, the growth on the side of it that I thought was like maybe a tumor, it was the fluids needing a new place to go because it outgrew the space under the nipple, and it started growing outside of my nipple. And when it did that, my nipple itself got like less hard and swollen because it was relieved a little bit. So I went in yesterday, he cut open my little sac.
No way.
And a bunch of pus and blood started
He
coming
cut
out.
you open?
He cut, on my little nipple.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it fucking hurt. It hurt really fucking bad.
I'm sorry.
He gave me a local anesthetic. He did 2 needles in the nipple, which also the other thing is he's like, I'm sorry it hurts, but it's a kind of a miracle. You can feel this. You're not really supposed to be able to.
Totally.
Like, he thinks I told him that I think I've spoken this a while ago on the podcast. When I had boobs, my nipples were very sensitive. My nipples getting touched during sex was like the difference between finishing or not sometimes for me. Like that's how sensitive they were. And I was always like interested how top surgery would affect that. My left nipple, still that way. A little less so, but my left nipple is speaking to my coochie.
No way.
They talk.
Which nipple had the
left one.
That's one.
Yeah, that has like full sensation. So he's like,
no, but which one has the lump in it?
Sorry, the left one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Okay.
The right one, I can feel that I'm touching my nipple, but it's not talking to my coochie.
Got it.
My left one talks to my coochie and is like, "Hey, this feels good," which is nuts. He's like, "Motti, there's no."
I was like,
medical...
What accent does it have? This my initial thing was like, it's talking to it saying, "Hey, this feels good."
Yeah, I don't know. A sexy accent. I don't know.
Okay.
A Scouse accent.
That's a Scouse.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That feels that good, that.
And he's just like, there's no medical research right now to support how this happened because we sever those nerves that actually directly, when you think of it, and you're like, okay, the cups and the string, right?
Right.
Old school, like talking to your friend through the treehouse. Those were the nerves. The string between the 2 cups is like the nerves that go from my nipple to my coochie.
And they're broken.
They're broken. They're severed, but somehow they're chatting. They got walkie-talkies. Like somehow they're talking. They've upgraded. Christmas came and they got some walkie-talkies and they're chatting.
That's so fucking interesting because that feels like the same thing that happens when I can like feel that I'm getting a blowjob, but I'm not getting a blowjob. Or
Totally.
You know what I mean? It just feels
it's like this mental. Maybe it could be mental for me. I don't. It
feels like it is. Well, it must be.
I've got
which
phantom
is so cool.
nipple clit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's wild. And your right one's not rocking the same.
Not the same. Like I can feel like when I touch it, I'm like, okay, I'm touching it. I can feel that, but it's not turning me on. This turns me on. Like I can just brush up against it and I get
no way
hard.
Mine are dead.
Yeah.
Mine are dead.
Yeah.
They look great, but I feel literally
they do look great.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I feel nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But he was like, that's really cool, Motti. I don't have anything to support that with, like medically.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay.
So yeah, that.
So anyway, sorry, everyone's sorry for just
it's all
pure
good,
shit about that.
But it's good to know because, and then I posted this on my story and a bunch of people were like, hey, I'm an older trans man. I've gotten breast cancer. Like, thank you for posting this because I think we don't want to get a bunch of trans men in the place where they stop doing the checks and like they should, raise concern if something hard or if discolored or, the usual signs of breast cancer. When my dad got breast cancer, his nipple started bleeding and that's how he was like, gotta go to the doctor. So it's just like, you gotta, whatever, do your checks, go to the doctor, go, trans men go
absolutely.
to the gyno and do all that. But so he squeezed everything out. He had to like stick this giant Q-tip in to get a culture so we could check out if the pus is like staph or anything.
I'm sorry.
And then what he had to do, because now I just have an open wound on the side of my nipple, he had to take like a gauze ribbon and shove it in to the hole underneath the nipple and like leave a little bit out. So he did that yesterday, and then this morning in my shower I had to pull it out.
Oh god.
It was so disgusting. It was so gross.
Oh god. This is like when do you remember when they pulled out the
oh god, the drains.
The drains?
I had no idea how deep inside of me those things were.
I know, and it did this noise. It was like, I can't even do it. It like
I didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything?
Mm-mm.
I heard this like slippery, like suctiony noise, and it like got
Like
and it got pulled out, and then as it gets pulled out the side of my body, a big like lump of flesh is at the end of the thing.
Yeah.
I look over to my girlfriend whose face is completely like drained of blood.
Yeah, I think right now it is too.
Yeah. But she's trying to stay calm for me, but I look at her and I can tell something's not right because she's looking peaky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I look and I'm like, what? Yeah. Oh my God. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
sorry.
didn't realize that like the drain pipeline went all the way across, like into my chest. I thought it was just kind of like at the end.
Yeah, it's all the way.
So when he was like, "Okay, we're taking them out," and I was like, "You're still pulling." Yeah, it's like a clown with a ribbon, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't think about this."
Yeah,
I was in there with my mom, and it was gross, but yeah. So the ribbon was only about like this big. Readers, it's about a couple of inches, and listeners, not readers, but I had to pull it out this much. So now I just got a hole on it right now.
Oh my God. Well, listen, you're so brave. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Well done for getting it sorted quick. Yeah. Important.
Yeah, I'm on antibiotics and stuff, but yeah, freaking out. My surgeon was like, it's a miracle you don't have like a high grade fever right now. Like usually when you have like an infection like this, like your body reacts to it in like a flu-like way, but I guess I'm just tough as nails.
I guess you're just Superman.
Yeah. So that's the update on that. But I do think it's important to relay because it's good to know these things. You still got tissue. You've got milk ducts. They can get clogged even if you're not pregnant or lactating. Like it's just a thing we have. Glands. So, go to the doctor when you need to. Mm-hmm. Take care of your body.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thank you for being, open about your medical.
About my nipple.
About your nipples.
Yeah.
It's important.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was asking so many people and everyone was like, like there's just not.
And I learned something, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Great. Anything else?
Do you have any other corrections? I don't think so.
No other corrections, I don't think. I'm sure after this week talking about biphobia, like basically outing us both as biphobic.
Yeah. We'll have something to say.
Saying the word girl instead of chicks just too often. So we need to.
Girl instead of chicks. No, I think we can't say girl. Don't
girl
say
and
chicks.
Chick instead of woman.
Yeah.
Instead of woman.
Yeah.
Fuck. And I thought that I was getting better because in Liverpool we say bird a lot.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I know, but it's also said in a really like you only call your girlfriend bird, so it's a term of endearment. But people in the US do not like that.
That's
from
cute
me.
as like a nickname.
Yeah.
Well, I think of. Did you ever watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No.
They call Dee, the sister, like a bird, like that she looks like a bird.
Oh, so
and they
offensive.
make fun of her throughout the entire series. So I just associate it with that, and I'm like, yeah.
So other than those corrections, which we'll work on, no more corrections for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm happy.
Well, good boy, Kylo.
Good boy, Motti.
I'll do a less questioning one. Yeah. Good boy, Kylo.
No, I can't stop thinking about Anchorman.
About what?
About Anchorman.
Why?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Oh.
You haven't seen it?
I have, but for some reason that's not.
You don't? Oh, okay. I'm going to send you it. Never mind.
No,
anyway.
I know it, but in my head, I'm like, isn't it the one where he's like, and fuck you, San Francisco, or something like that?
No, it's San Diego.
Oh.
But
oh,
no.
God forbid.
No. He's just reading the teleprompter and he goes, I'm Ron Burgundy? Like, because it's got a question mark at the end, and it shouldn't.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Anyway.
No.
Good boy, Motti.
I love land.
Good boy, Motti. I love.
Why are we yelling? No, I know Anchorman. I just that one didn't stand out.
Okay. So, good boy, Motti.
Okay. Good boy, Kylo.